it seems you can do anything in American football short of using a Tommy gun, so you mustn't expect me to explain the rules.
Players wear so much clothing, it's a wonder they can move at all.
Great deal for all the players in the league and everything else. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it. Let's go!
And if my mother was here today, she's 93 years old, she couldn't make it. I'd look at her face and see the pride she'd have, that only a mother can have.
A lot of people came away so moved by your speech. This seemed to catch everybody by surprise. Do you think that you've always been emotional and people just didn't know it?
When you're taking pictures or whatever television does, I mean, you know, we're in a football game. I got a headset on and I'm involved in a lot of things going on. I mean, I got no time for emotion.
This is Any Given Wednesday, the NFL podcast where two overseas fans delve into the NFL's glorious past in an attempt to understand its fascinating present. So whether you're a new fan who doesn't know their A-gap from their O-line, or someone who's so experienced that when someone says Madden, you think of an actual person rather than a computer game, then this is the podcast for you. Now, the great Minnesota Vikings team of 1969 had the motto 40 for 60. 40 players giving everything together for 60 minutes. And round here, we've got a similar saying. 2 for anywhere between 45 and 57 minutes.
Depends, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how we're feeling, let's be honest. 40's all right, as we say sometimes.
It's not as catchy, but
it's not as catchy a slogan. You wouldn't paint it on the wall, but it's true. I'm one half of that too. I'm Tom Parry, and joining me is my other half. He's unplayable, unblockable, unreliable.
Oh, big time.
Not so much the purple people eater as the bronzed bar snack muncher. It's Mr. Mike Bobbins.
Oh, Tom Parry, another good one, another cracker.
How you doing, my boy?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. I've had a nice weekend, nice week. Very relaxing. I'm buzzed, mate. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for action.
Did you? I had. I don't know if some of our listeners, I bet, had the same conflict of an NFL Sunday yesterday, but also the final day of the Ryder Cup.
I know,
and it was too much sport happening at once. To because you want to have eyes on everything. Did you split your times?
I did. My boys' rugby in the morning, so I had a trifecta. There was the boys' rugby, which was good, and then the Ryder Cup. And then there was the NFL. So what I did was, luckily for me, the Packers weren't playing until very late.
Yeah.
So I could watch the Ryder Cup and sort of nip back and forth to watch the NFL. And then I watched the Packers on catch up this morning. But our little WhatsApp group there, mate, I didn't want to spoil it for you. I just said, did you see the game?
Yeah, really. That's very good etiquette, that is. Very good etiquette.
Yeah.
Because I've spoiled results for you in the past. That's why you're saying that.
And I've done the same for you. So, yeah. But what a mad game that was.
It was a mad
Ryder Cup and then a mad Packers game.
So the Packers game, for when this goes out, it was against the Dallas Cowboys. And it made me realise it was one of those rare things in the NFL, which was a tie.
Mm.
And it isn't, you don't get them very often, do you?
Well, much rarer now. Because they shortened the overtime period, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they took away that you could win with a field goal a few years ago. So both teams, unless you score a touchdown on your first possession, both teams got off a possession. So it just leads to there being more ties. So it just leads to when there is a tied game.
Yeah.
It's unusual to have a tied game, but when it goes to overtime now, you're more likely to end up with a tie than you are.
Because both teams are allowed a possession.
Yeah, which is much more sense in it.
It does make
in the old days, you caught a kick off, and as long as you get it down to the 40-yard line, you've won the game, essentially.
Yeah. And you have that slightly annoying thing now of having to put the tie on the end of your result all through the season. So other teams will say like, "Oh, we're 4-3," or "We're 7-2," and for the rest of the season, you have to go, "We're 5-2-1." It's really annoying.
Yeah. It is
annoying. Really annoying.
Do you know what though? I thought I misread it. So because I was in a rush this morning doing stuff, I thought, right, I've got time to watch this. If the Packers lost, I'm not going to watch it.
Right. Okay.
Right. So I looked at it, I thought, 40 all? Really? Okay, well, I'm watching that, right?
Yeah.
I thought I'd misread it. I had to Google it because I thought, but it can't be 40-all because this is the 2-minute warning, and it was like 30-23 or something stupid.
Yeah.
I thought,
Insane.
what?
Insane.
Mad end to the game.
There is there's a thing called scoregami where I don't know who it is, but someone on social media keeps
I've seen
count
this.
of unique NFL scores, and that was a scoregami. So in the
Was
history
it?
of the NFL, there'd never been a 40-all before.
It was the second highest tied game ever.
Yeah, yeah,
Never been a
insane.
40-all before. Yeah, mad game.
And it just goes to show in terms of like the fickleness of the NFL. 2 weeks ago, people were talking about the Green Bay Packers like they were Super Bowl contenders.
I
And
still
it's
am.
like, here is the best team. This could be the best team in the NFC. And now, just 2 weeks later, there's been kind of a big wobble. And
Keep the faith, brother.
I'm just saying, no, I'm just like, it's
Keep the faith.
less about the Packers, more about the nature of this
No,
sport
it is, yeah.
and just
It
how
is.
hard it is to retain this kind
No
of
one's that much better
unit.
than anybody else. That's the thing. It's the on
Yeah.
any given Sunday, isn't it? Like, they can. It's so close that one bit of your game falls down, or one bit of your game steps up, and it's a difference maker.
What is there anything that you noticed from the game that you wanted to talk about this week?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what I noticed with the Packers game. I would normally be a bit peed off having a tie, especially against a team I think we should beat. But I was really enthused by that.
Oh yeah,
Because I think going deep in the season, some of the things we did really well in that game. It was mad how we scored heavily at the end of the game.
yeah,
That field goal with no time on the clock, like 1 second to play, was perfectly executed. So yeah, I thought things we'll need to go deep this season. I think we did well. Let ourselves down in parts of the game that we can work on. Do you know what? When I'm talking about rugby, I don't say we, unless I'm talking about Wales, but I don't. But with the Packers, I always say we. I mean the Packers.
yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't. I thought the Cowboys play were good. So give it to them.
There's been a glut of blocked field goals, and there was another one in this game, wasn't there? We had one of our points after touchdowns were saved, and the shots of some of those saved field goals are so incredible because once the players get past the defense, they just have to fling themselves across in the line of the ball, and they're so spectacular. Some of those shots, just like proper superhero.
And trying to explain to people who, if you haven't got a background in rugby, you'll have seen rugby, I'd assume, right? Kicking in rugby and kicking in NFL is such a different animal, right?
Yeah.
And they always, the people, the sort of pro rugby types will say, oh yeah, but you're always in front of the post. And there is that. There's no angles, not like in rugby, you can kick from the sideline, right?
Yeah.
You are always in between the hash marks, so there is that, and they're the width of the post. In rugby, the nearest person to you is 10 meters away, and they have to stay still.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got a minute to take your kick. And the NFL, you got about 2 seconds if you're lucky, and there will be some fella who's about 6'7", dive in full length into your face. So that ball's got to get up in the air immediately. It's a mad skill.
Or there's someone who's 6'7" who's just hurdled, is able to hurdle someone else who's 6'4". Like they just clean hurdle them.
I watched because you can't put a nose tackle directly opposite the long snapper anymore, right? For protection. So I watched the one, and the nose tackle, he basically just jumped over the center's head on the angle.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
It's insane.
It is.
So
Larry David hates kicking in football.
I know. I like it. I still think it's a good idea.
Yeah. I tell you what's weird, mate, is that blocked return for 2 points. That's an odd. That's a fairly new rule as well.
So you're kicking. You score a touchdown and you're kicking for 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's blocked and returned, they score 2 points.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's
it
mental.
is. Essentially, it's a safety, which is weird.
It doesn't feel like it. And what is also weird is that there aren't then. Do you know? Should you start putting like men back? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's an option, isn't it? We'll have a fullback just hang around there.
Like stick one person back just in case. I don't
Did
know.
you see?
I know.
You'll get snapped up, mate, with that sort of attitude. You'll get snapped up. Special teams coach Tom Parry.
The thing that I still struggle with when I was watching it was, whenever I watch it, truth be told, and it was something I was going to admit to you and see if you could help me out with, is
I will.
when you're watching, obviously, a whole bunch of guys really go at each other. And it looks like everyone's holding everyone. It's when you see a holding call, it's like the margins of what's a hold and what isn't a hold and what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. Like the technicality of that they're operating on. I find it very difficult to fully understand what's allowed and what isn't, and where you can grab and where you can't.
Right. Well, if you're on the offense, you can't grab at all.
No grabbing whatsoever. But you can push.
Open hands.
Open hands. Warm
you can't
heart.
grab. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They've got to be inside your shoulder pads. So you've got to have the width. It used to be you could have, as long as there's open hands, you could put your hands anywhere. But now they've got to stay inside your pads. And that's about it, really. If you're engaged in a block, if I was blocking you, someone can't come in then and take your knees out, for instance, right? That'd be an illegal block.
So you can't
take engaged.
Yeah. Okay.
You can still you'll see a defensive end, or like an edge rush will come on the end, and a running back will dive with their knees, and you can do that because it's an open field block. But if you're engaged with somebody already, if the block's going on, you can't go below the waist at that point because it protects knees and all that sort of stuff. But essentially for the lineman, it's got to be an open hand inside the pads, no grabbing. And then on the defense, it's a little bit more anything goes. They banned the head slap years ago. You can't slap the head anymore.
Right, okay.
Which was a mad move. It was a mad move that was there for like 60 years.
It's mad that it took them 60 years to get to that.
And they have a rules committee every off-season. So for like 60 years they went, what about the head slap? That's fine.
What are you talking about? It's fine.
You just punch him in the head. Yeah, that's fine. Leave that one go.
It's part of the game.
Snowflakes. What are you talking about? So it's a real skill. And I think it's a bit like, if you like your football, British football, you could basically call a free kick or a penalty or a free kick in every single corner at every single 6-yard box. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? So all the linemen sort of know there's what you can get away with, what you can't get away with. It's a very grey area. And it's very explosive. It is. But when you see the hold, it's usually pretty obvious. The loss.
And then the other thing that I found really interesting, and I don't want to keep going on about the Packers, but I'll just use it as the example. At the end of the last week's games, Packers were against the Cleveland Browns, and Jordan Love, our quarterback, threw a seemingly kind of like just a really kind of lame interception. Basically, it's like he just popped it to the other team's player, and you watch it and you think, what on earth was he thinking? Like, that's poor quarterback play. But then a couple of days later, and again, like, social media is really good for this, there's a bunch of accounts that kind of break down each play and you look at it from like a coach's film perspective. And this guy was able to say, okay, this is the play that had been called. These receivers were supposed to be running these routes because they thought the defense was going to be doing these things. But then what the defense did instead was this, which meant the receiver, instead of doing what he should have done,
should have checked down at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so, and like, it was just, it's very interesting because I completely reappraised what had happened and what had looked like, the quarterback.
If you see a throw that was catchable, but hits him in the knees or is a little too high, then that can cut off and be on the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
If you see a completely busted coverage like that, if you see a ball that is, 3 or 4 yards off, well, the receiver's done the wrong thing. Likely the receiver's done the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It'd be a timing route or route, as our American friends say. And, he got to the wrong place. And when he got to the wrong place, the ball was already at the right place. So,
yeah. And
hard, isn't it?
And it must be so hard when you're a quarterback because
It's the hardest position in sports. It's the hardest position in sports.
And it's like you are doing exactly what you drop back, you got 2 seconds, you release, you put it exactly on the spot where it's supposed to be, and the guy isn't there, and someone from their team's there, and you look. It makes it look like it's all on you. And if you're a leader, which a lot of them are very good leaders, you wear it and you take responsibility for it. But it
doesn't say on the stats Romeo Dobbs ran the wrong route. It'll say, Jordan Love interception.
Threw a pick at the worst time. Yeah. And I just thought, I just found that fascinating because I completely reappraised the whole play and what had happened. And
well, it's weird. Like when you throw football with your mates in a park or whatever, and you can have a decent spiral on you and you can throw the ball well. When you watch the good quarterbacks, right? And certainly at the level of the NFL quarterback, well, they're supremely accurate. You expect that anyway. But looking defenders off is a big part of the game. Like if I'm just staring at you, Tom, everyone knows you're getting the ball. So the real gift is I got 4 receivers running different routes. Okay, you don't know which one I'm going to throw to because I'm not staring at the one that I'm going to throw the ball to.
Yeah, so
hard to do. Or people like Patrick Mahomes, when they look one way and then throw the other way.
The no-look pass.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a crazy skill position, quarterback, with a ton of stuff to learn.
So much going on, and so much that like you said about the kicker, you're processing all of that, knowing that in 3 or 4 seconds you could get absolutely.
If you haven't got that clock ticking down your head at the same time, if you're not going 1001, 1002, 1000, get rid of it. If you haven't got that, you're going to get fucking splattered as well. That's the thing.
Absolutely splattered.
And that'll be on you. Your lineman will say, listen, you had 4 seconds. What do you want?
Yeah, it's insane.
Sorry.
It's insane.
And you're watching the game clock. So there was a bit on the weekend where because of the way that the ball was respotted, they didn't realise. And they didn't realise that the clock was running. So you've got to be aware of that game clock. So you got when that gets to 0, if you haven't snapped the ball, there's your delay penalty as well. So you're watching the game clock. You got to know which, obviously, down and distance and what personnel you got in. Then you got to listen. In your head's got to be that timer. Your sack timer's gone off in your head at the same time.
Yeah.
Then you've got a playbook that looks like a telephone directory, which is you got to know that back to front.
Coach
and then when
you
and you got that until 20 seconds before you snap it, and then you get to the line of scrimmage and they suddenly shift, and you got to go, okay, change all that. Then you got to audibilize and run something different, and everyone's got to be on the same page as you. Otherwise, you look like a twat.
and in comparison, listener, Mike was 10 minutes late because he couldn't find his MacBook cable, so he's got a lot going on as well. To
be fair.
Similar pressures,
To be fair to this MVP, most valuable podcaster over here, my kids had nicked I assumed my MacBook was fully charged, like it always is. Yeah. They'd taken my cable downstairs.
You see,
I can only apologise.
Mahomes doesn't have to deal with that, does he?
No. It's an intangible. It's like when they put the Super Bowl in Minnesota. We're going to get to Minnesota in a second.
We are, yeah.
When they had a dome, they thought, no, who cares about the weather? We got a dome. Yeah, but how are we going to get to the dome if there's a blizzard, which there was? And they hadn't thought it through. I hadn't thought of this through. I should have checked the cable this afternoon.
Well, there are some things that we noticed about football this week. As always, we'd love for you to get in touch. Tell us the things that you're noticing. Any Given Wednesday pod. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We'll stick all the links in the show notes. And get in touch.
One little thing, Tom. Sorry about things I noticed.
Yeah. And
I saw a fella down Cardiff Bay with this top on the other day as well. And I saw a clip on YouTube. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers throwback. The old school logo and colours. Yes, please.
It's really good. It's really good.
What are you thinking about changing that?
Yeah.
What were you thinking of?
They have not improved the look at all, have they? It was beautiful.
Oh, thing of rare beauty.
I mean, I do enjoy that about the NFL, how they can have just odd weeks where they just decide they're going to put on a different type of kit and a throw.
Cardiff City changed shirt colour about 5 years ago when the new owner came in.
Yeah.
And people just stopped going. There was like a national outcry. It was all over the news all the time.
I remember that. I'd forgotten about that.
And then you'd have Cardiff City fans fighting other Cardiff City fans for wearing the wrong colour, calling each other plastics, just going off on each other.
They don't need much of an excuse, do they, really, Cardiff fans?
All right, you're like a nice scrap.
He had a pie, he had a sausage roll. Well, get in touch anyway, get in touch. And if you want to, you can leave us a speak pipe as well, which I think we've got a couple to listen to. So you ready to get into the speak pipes, Buds?
Producer Reese, are we piped up?
Hi guys, it's Hugh from Cardiff here, New Orleans Saints and Cardiff City fan. Both cities built around docks and transport and water, both cities with a massive melting pot of culture. Ask Mike about Tiger Bay if you don't know. Both living on past glories, the Saints on our one Super Bowl and Cardiff on our cup win in 1927. And both in the early stages of a rebuild with a brand new head coach. My question is, do you think I'm supporting the right franchise, or is there anybody else you'd recommend? Secondly, given the fact that our now infamous, famous, whichever way you want to look at it, onside kick from the one and only Super Bowl win would be illegal under today's laws, what are the best plays in the NFL that would not be allowed to stand today based on this season's rules? Cheers, guys. Loving the pod.
Lovely stuff. Well, first of all, Hugh,
Right.
thank you very much, mate. That's a good speak pipe, isn't it?
It's a really good speak pipe.
I love the New Orleans Cardiff analogy. That's brilliant. Like our sort of Tiger Bay would be the French Quarter, I suppose. Real melting pot. I think at one point that square mile of Cardiff had more languages spoken than any other part of the UK. I love that, New Orleans Saints can. And of course, who can forget? What's that?
That can't be a verified fact, can it?
That's the true story. Look it up. Look it up. No, because of the docks.
Yeah, okay.
So we had Norwegians and Somalians and Maltese and West Indians, and there's also, there were more languages being spoken in Tiger Bay per square mile than any other square mile in the United Kingdom. That is a fact.
Is it a fact written and originated in Tiger Bay?
Look, Thomas, look it up and then phone me to apologise for doubting me.
In many different languages.
Yeah. Pick a language and phone me up, apologise. Yeah, great. I've been to the Superdome. I went there when I was on my odyssey to see Graceland. Amazing. Right, so let's have a think. So what's the question? Should he stick with this franchise? You've got to stick with. You can't.
Yeah, that was.
You've got to stick with your team, haven't you? It doesn't matter through thick or thin. And if you don't follow football over here, Cardiff City in the last probably 8 years got up to the Premier League and then down to the Championship. They're currently in Division 1. So yeah, lean times, but they'll bounce back.
And the Saints are in a really tough spot at the moment. They're kind of often mentioned as currently one of the worst teams. But as we said, it's the cycle is much clearer in.
What Cardiff City haven't got is a salary cap and a draft.
Yeah, I was going to say that's it exactly.
They've got an owner who wants to spend no money.
Yeah. And they've got great fans, haven't they? The Saints.
Oh, they went for like 20 plus years. They were an expansion franchise at the end of the 60s. They went for, I think, 20 years before they had a winning season. Was there owner a guy called Tom Benson that was ringing a bell? And
we should look at that.
Have a little look. So we should have a look at it because I can remember the fans used to have the paper bags over their heads. They were so embarrassed to be Saints fans. Remember?
Yeah.
Who dat in them uniforms, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The no-name Saints, all that sort of stuff. And they, Drew Brees, man. I used to love watching Drew Brees throw a football. What a quarterback he was.
He might. Let's do him as a future episode because that'd be a great thing to look at. And
also, of course, home team of Archie Manning, father of Peyton and Eli Manning.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. So
20 years without a winning season. So yeah, don't worry about it, Hugh. I mean, this is small potatoes for New Orleans. It's absolutely fine. And plus, what a place to go for if you ever get a chance to go over there.
Yeah, and didn't they win the Super Bowl? Was it the season after Hurricane Katrina or very close to that? So it was like that was an amazing story.
It was weird, wasn't it? It went from being like a massive refuge centre
Yeah.
To be in, amazing stuff. So you got to stick with the Saints, mate. Another team was uniform, I love. And of course, if you're a Saints fan, you probably, like me, remember the glory days of the Barry in South Wales. Probably around 1987, there was an unkitted football team, which was organised by a young man called Mike Bubbins from Barry.
Oh, right. Okay.
Who were known as the Barry Saints.
Oh, really?
And they were the Saints because Barry's name is... the town of Barry is St. Caddock, St. Duvan, and St. Barrack. So I thought, oh, no, Saints. Yeah, I'll have the Barry Saints. Yeah. Games played, none. Games won, none. Games lost, none. Unbeaten.
Perfect record. Perfect record. The unbeaten.
I started a team, and only one of us had a ball because it was the 80s. My mate Nick had a Wilson Duke, and then we had our first training session at Porthcurry Park, and he refused to come down and bring his ball. And Nick and I didn't speak for over a year. Yeah. So that was the second question. Plays. Okay, that's an interesting one.
What plays? Because the onside kick.
Couldn't you do? He's right about that. I mean, I understand why the NFL have done that for safety, but I do miss a sneaky onside kick. You got to nominate it now, which is takes away the surprise.
And this was the huge surprise with this one was he started the second half with an onside kick, didn't he? Which has never been done certainly not in a Super Bowl before.
Massive pressure.
And it paid off. They recovered the onside kick and went down the field and scored. Huge call from Sean Payton. He's a hell of a character.
Yeah. Who also he got his coaching wings in the UK. I think he was coaching Leicester. I think he was coach quarterback for the Leicester Panthers. You won't get me on football, Tom.
The bit about Sean Payton I'm interested in is he got banned from the NFL suspended for a year for paying Bountygate, financially rewarding his players for injuring other players. And in his year off, he went and coached his son's high school team, I think. And there's like a film that's been made about it. So like, I'd be quite up for watching that film and reviewing it. Because I think
that was a weird one with that, but he denies it, didn't he? But
Bountygate, yeah.
Yeah. If it happened, it's awful, isn't it?
I mean,
and I suspect it probably did happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he instigated it, but it was going on. I mean, football's tough enough without putting bounties on players' heads, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of fits a past era of the game. There's definitely no place for it now. But
I thought of a play they could bring back, which has been banned.
Go on.
But that's been banned for about 100 years, and it was banned before the NFL came into existence.
Oh, right, okay.
Was the flying wedge. Do you know this?
No, what's the flying wedge?
I think Harvard used to run it. I think it was Harvard that ran it first in college football. Is on a kickoff, we're talking about kickoffs, the receiver would catch the ball. Everyone else would form a V shape like geese in front of him, interlocking arms.
Great.
Interlocking their arms.
Yeah.
And you'd run up the field behind this flying wedge. But so many players got killed playing.
What?
Yes. That the president stepped in and said, if you don't make the game safer, I'm going to ban the game. So that is why you're not allowed to interlock on offensive plays.
Wow.
Because of the flying wedge. I'm not saying I should bring that back. I mean, I think deaths in football is a bad thing. So,
you're against the deaths, are you? I guess, would you say the flying wedge is kind of like the great grandfather of the tush push? Do you think that's kind of the?
I think it was more. It was very much like, part of its rugby roots.
What you're describing is kind of British bulldog kind of feel.
Yeah. Or like a rugby maul, or
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
plays.
Yeah. But don't bring it back.
I think the onside kick's in quite an interesting place, really. Not in its least interesting place at the moment.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like they should either do away with it, because it feels like they've neutered it so much now in terms of when they can actually make contact and the area of being able to pursue the ball, that it feels like there's so little chance of recovering an onside kick.
Here's a question I don't understand, right? From a rugby player's background. The onside kick, what they tend to try to do is drop it just short of the 10, let it bounce over the 10, or you drill it nice and low, end over end it, knuckleball, whatever, right? Do you know what I would do if I was doing an onside kick? I would tee the ball up a certain way. I'd take the kick out, kick it as high as you can, and land it, 10, 15 yards downfield.
Yeah.
And then let's attack the ball in the air. It's a 50-50 then. You think most restarts in rugby are drop kicks that go high and land on the 10. They're all virtually onside kicks.
Are you allowed to contend it in the air though?
Yeah. It's just got to go 10 yards. I think. Unless it has to be touched, does it? It can't be. Maybe it has to be touched by the receiving team.
Do you know what? We'll go away and we'll look at this and we'll talk.
Let them tell us. There
you go.
You can tell me. There we go.
Tell us what are the current rules of the onside kick, because God knows.
And all the other ones. Next speak pipe, Reese.
Yeah, that was a great speak pipe though.
Well done, Hugh.
Hi guys, great work on the pod. Really enjoying it so far. My name's Seb. I've lived and breathed association football for far too long. And one thing that has struck me, the difference in American football. So obviously in association football nowadays, everything is down to little lines on screens and everything is dissected beyond belief, far too much. And one of the reasons why I found myself getting more into American football, so I'm just trying to find something that isn't as stressful. But what I would say is, in American football, where the sport is dominated by yards and, progressing, what I don't understand, there seems to be a much more free overview of like yards gained, or if someone catches the ball and it's just, there doesn't seem to be any of this sort of micro analyzing that we have in association football. Why is that? Because obviously the game is huge and some of the clubs are worth more than football clubs, aren't they? Dallas Cowboys and stuff like that. I wonder why that is. It seems to be even though the game relies on gains and yardage and keeping things and catching things in bounds and stuff like that. Why is it not given as much attention as it is in association football?
Good question.
Great question.
By the way, I recognise that voice. So this is Seb White.
Right.
Do you know Monday Al, the football magazine?
Yeah.
This is Seb from Monday Al.
Oh my God! Welcome, Seb.
All round great fella. It's interesting because they brought in this season, I think, that sort of Hawkeye fourth down thing.
Yeah, I was going to say this, but
so
they've brought in Hawkeye, but only for after the official has put the ball down, right?
Exactly.
So they're still relying on a dude who is over 40 on the sideline, looking across the pitch, and then just going, I think the ball stopped here.
Yeah.
And then they bring Hawkeye in. That's not the bit that they need help with.
No, because the chain gang, which they used to use originally, was in that case was as accurate.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is measuring it from where was the last 10 there. Okay, well, we'll put the start of the chain there. Yeah. Where does he think the football ended up? Here. Well, let's put the chains down then. It doesn't tell you where to spot the ball.
And I must admit, like the drama of the theatre and the drama of the chain gang coming out was brilliant. And the kind of waiting for
and we knew it was batshit crazy.
Yeah, like it's mad.
Not getting it by an inch, because like you said, and it'd be like there was a massive maul and the ball is in the middle of like 2,000 pounds of bloke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about there.
Yeah, it's here. And then he runs in with the authority, this tiny old fella, and like pushes the ball out of the way, picks up the ball and just goes, yeah, here. And I think like no one knows if that's accurate.
No, not to the inch.
It came up at the end of last year. I think it was, Josh Allen with the Bills, their playoff push was ended because there was a lot of people kind of screen grabbing the play and drawing lines and sticking it on social media, saying, look, surely there was enough progress there But ultimately, I mean, I like the fact that the NFL are kind of holding on to the slight traditions, because I guess the alternatives will be microchips in the ball, and I think there will be a question of whether that will affect, or like the practicality of putting that amount of microchips in the balls. Like you said, they have lots of different balls now and things like that.
What they could do, and I'm amazed they don't do it, right, is like I watched a thing the other day, and it was literally the shutter speed on this camera was so incredible that they can now film the passage of light. Doesn't sound possible, does it? But you can actually see a light. You can see light move towards a wall, right? And then it illuminates a wall. So you're actually watching light move, right?
Yeah, okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
If you can do that, or if you can look at ballistics and look at a bullet and work out exactly, in minute detail, why are the cameras they use in these situations, they look like Sony Handycams from the 80s.
Yeah.
Right? There must be a high definition version of that.
Well, and
so when
also,
you see the foot on the sideline stripe, or when you see it on the goal line, get a really, really high def camera with a really fast shutter speed, and let's have a look at it.
And it's not like with association football, where it's not like United are going to be drawn against go to Grimsby on a Wednesday night, and there's only so many NFL stadiums, and the NFL is a multi-billion-pound organization,
and they're all exactly the same size. Exactly the same size. There's no variation in pitch size or post size or anything.
So
they're all exactly the same.
They can install. They have the capabilities to install state-of-the-art everything, in these kind of behemoths of stadiums. It's not gonna,
it's mad.
So, but I like the romance of it, and I like the fact that you just get on with it, and it's like, yeah, okay, let's go. And it's like,
yeah,
I got in, you didn't get in. Let's have a look. Oh no, I don't think you did. Okay,
I do think what they do well, to be fair to them, is when, and I think, I think you look at the way the VAR's done in association football. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh God.
I think the NFL one's much more rapid than that. And also the way that when they started this season in the Premier League, officials being wired for sound, I thought, how are you getting this wrong? It's been done since the 60s in America. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. It's so bad. So bad.
So good question, Seb. I think it's a bit of, they don't like change in America, do they?
No.
They love their yards and their inches and
the tradition.
And buying things by the quart and the pound and the ounce, and they just like a bit of that. And I don't mind that. I don't mind if it gets wrong, but I think you're dead right. What they've got at the moment is the worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
They've got a Hawkeye. It'd be like that Hawkeye in Wimbledon, right? Looking at your serve, but who decides where the ball actually lands? Some 75-year-old linesman.
Yeah, exactly.
Or lineswoman. It wouldn't work, would it?
No. They don't need to bring in Hawkeye if they're still relying on the ref spotting the ball. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a stepping stone to
a chip in the ball. I think is the way that it'll go.
It will go that way, I think.
Boo.
The thing I do like about the NFL that they've got is the challenge flag, and this idea that you can you can challenge a result, a decision. Not all decisions, but some calls. Was it a fair catch or not? I think that's a really smart way to kind of keep the officiating honest,
because it speeds the game up. I mean, when you see people screaming at referees, it's offside, ref. If you had to forfeit something because you okay, we'll call it then, flag it. Oh, I'm not going to lose a flag over it. Well, you won't lose a flag if it's offside, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's good.
I mean, the other thing I'll say, just to put a bow on this, is what the Jerry Jones episode taught us is the NFL knows that what's good for business is it being a soap opera, and things like that Josh Allen decision. They talked about that on their NFL streams for 5-6 days, and it's like talking points, controversy, stories. The NFL loves it's a circus.
Payback.
It's a circus, and if it becomes clinical and definite, then you're going to lose a lot of conversations. And the NFL really encourage that, I think.
Well, I was thinking there's no reason why you have to wear as much padding or have helmets that look like that, or there's safer ways of doing things, but it all adds to the, you should really wear like an all-in-one suit.
Yeah.
Unless, but
yeah,
it's got to look a certain way as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's get on to this week's subject. Talk about looking a
Good
certain
intro.
way and pads and suits. Yeah, I mean the footage that we were watching for this week's subject. Oh, stirring stuff. Because as you well know, every week we choose a different team from the NFL, focusing on one interesting aspect from their past. Great seasons, players, personalities, great games. And this week we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings and their famous D-line, the Purple People Eaters. We're looking at from 1967 to 1974. One of the best front fours to have ever played together.
What a crazy and what a record! Like in that time, I was just looking at one of the Purple People Eaters, Alan. I just looked at Alan Page's Wikipedia. Instantly got the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2018. So well done, Alan. But here's Wikipedia entry. This is him. Awards and highlights. NFL champion 69, MVP 71. Still remains the only defensive lineman to win that. NFL Defensive Player of the Year 71. 5-time first team All Pro 70, 71, 73, 74, 75. 3-team second All Pro 68, 72, 76. 9 times in the Pro Bowl. NFL All-Century team. NFL 70s All-Decade team. 50 Greatest Vikings. Just their record in the late 60s, early 70s, apart from the big one, was incredible. The number of divisional titles, the number of AFC. Go on.
10 division titles in 11 years. 4 Super Bowls. Just didn't win any of them.
Yeah.
Alan Page, I could talk about all day. There's This Footballing Life documentary, and Alan Page is
fascinating bloke, isn't he?
It is incredible. He's this kind of, they interview him now, and he's this eccentric bow tie wearing Supreme Court judge who has just retired from being a judge in the Supreme Court in Minnesota. This kind of beloved eccentric. He used to be an attorney. He went to law school when he was winning all these MVPs and things like that.
Unbelievable.
He went to law school. He put himself through law school. It's
Jury.
During his career. Yeah.
It's bonkers.
An incredible man. And he went on to play for the Chicago Bears, and when he retired, they kind of interview him, and he on the side of the field at Soldier Field, and he quotes Tennyson's Ulysses as part of his retirement speech. And it's like, how many defensive linemen, who would be doing that? It's just incredible. He's an incredible man. Such a smart guy, such a kind of keen sense of social justice, and very, very inspiring watch. And then you see the footage of him playing, and oh my God, an absolute monster on the field.
And that's the perfect way to be, isn't it? And that is that's the dream footballer for me. Well, let's get into the show. So you got Carl Eller, Jim Marshall, Gary Larsen, and the great Alan Page. They were so good. They didn't like the name particularly because it was like a cartoon.
It's a bit like itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that as a nickname. Do you know what I mean?
No, true.
It is very funny because I didn't know it was a song. So I started looking into it, and it's like, you see these 4 absolute big bastards who are smashing people up. And then the song is like, he was a purple flying little purple eater, purple bum. And it's like, of course they must have fucking hated that people started calling them that. What are you talking about? That's our name. Like Jim Marshall, he said no, but like with a purple force, let's just be called the Purple Force.
Yeah.
It's like no, that's not
no way, mate.
The Purple Gang, that's it. Let's just call us the Purple Gang. No, sorry. It's the purple people eaters. You're joking.
Purple Lance, Purple Boys.
Big purple men, just like the hard bastards. I got a list here, the hard bastards. No. The purple little people, Papa can be bit. It's like that's just like that. Absolutely gutted.
Well, their coach, you can't really mention that side without mentioning their coach, Bud Grant. Because you talk about, I mean, his record's incredible. But I went down a bit of a Bud Grant rabbit hole then through doing this.
Yeah,
what a fascinating bloke, and not like any other football coach I've ever read about. Like he would say, well, if we finish at 6, we finish at 6, go home. Go home with your families. You haven't got to stay till burn the midnight oil. If you've done your work, you've done your work, go home.
Yeah.
Or you'll be out going fishing or going hunting on the day of a game sometimes.
Yeah, every Saturday.
But then, do you know what part of me, though, Tom? Part of me loved that. And the fact that he said that, there's more to life than football. And he talks about he's got 6 kids and 11 grandkids and all this sort of stuff. And a well-read bloke, and got very emotional in his even though he didn't really wear his heart on his sleeve as a coach, got very emotional at his Hall of Fame induction, talking about his parents and stuff.
Yeah.
But then when he talks about football, he says, well, those 4 Super Bowls they went to, and he said, but my life wouldn't have been up. He won those 4 Super Bowls. And you see Steve Sable in the one I watched, was thinking, he sort of says, well, it might have been a bit different.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether, and this is not to knock Bud Grant at all, I think, right? But is the difference in that and a Belichick or a Tom Landry, or is that they are the ones with a camp bed in the room, 100%. Spending 24 hours a day on it, thinking about nothing else? Because when you're going to get to a Super Bowl, you're playing the other best team in the league.
Yeah.
With a coach who's put everything into that team. And it is going to be fine margin, the finest of margins at that point.
Exactly that. I mean, all the reasons that I liked Bud Grant were all the reasons why I thought he probably didn't get over the line to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly that. I thought I'd love to play for him, but I'm probably not going to win a Super Bowl if I did.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like this thing of like, at the end of the Super Bowl, the players would be like, Bud Grant would say, well, it was an entertaining game.
Oh, well.
Doesn't really matter. And it's like, okay.
See you guys next year.
It's just not going to be the thing that gets you over the line,
No. And it's such an un-American attitude to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it?
And, again, when like Alan Page said I'd started doing law school, and he said, in order to graduate, I'd have to give it more time. And Bud Grant said, well, you're in good shape. Just don't come to training camp this season. Go and become a lawyer, and then come and I'll play you. And it's like you go, oh, I love that. What a great man. But then it's like, did they win the Super Bowl that year? No, they didn't. And I think that's probably...
I think it was Lombardi, but a lot of quotes get attributed to Lombardi that weren't him. But show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
I want to be a good loser.
Lombardi was the one who's... My favourite Lombardi quote is, the most languages in the world were spoken in Tiger Bay.
He said that.
That's Vince
and he
Lombardi.
was right as well. He's right as well. Do you know, he's absolutely right with that
one. The thing that Bud Grant... Do you see the Bud Grant bit where they're playing in Minnesota, and this was before the dome, obviously. There's no domes around now. And so they've got these big heaters, like the opposing team have these big heaters on the side. And he said to his players, like, we are never going to have those. We're gonna live in the cold. We're gonna love living it. Like, it's that kind of, those cold weather teams where it's in their DNA. That's the stuff right there. That's the stuff we're after. Like,
Well, but that was the same. That was like Lombardi saying to the Packers in the Ice Bowl.
Yeah, I've turned the heat
against
off.
Dallas. No gloves, no long sleeves, no gloves.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
We all mentioned that we're used to this sort of thing. We live for this.
I love the fact that, like, obviously at some point in the Vikings' future, when they sat down to decide what their new stadium was going to be, there must have been that conversation where they were like, but this is part of who we are. We're a cold weather team. It's baked into our DNA. And someone said, yeah, but it is nice to be in the warm, isn't it? So I go, yeah.
And you will play better.
Yeah.
Actually, is the thing.
Actually, let's just have a nice dome. Actually, let's pop the heating on.
When you can feel your feet in your hands, you will play better. I was looking at this because the 4-3, which they played then, that was the predominant defense back in the day, was 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers.
Right.
So I was having a look at the Purple People Eaters for Minnesota. Then we had, Merlin Olsen of Little House on the Prairie fame was part of the fearsome foursome of the Los Angeles Rams. I love that one.
Hang on, he was also in Little House of the Prairie.
Merlin Olsen was, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He became an actor after football, but I mean that's a good sounding name, the fearsome foursome.
Yeah, it's really good.
LA Rams. Then we had, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers had the Steel Curtain.
Great.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
Great name.
Great name.
The New York Sack Exchange, of course, the Jets in the 80s.
The Jets. Great name.
Mark Gastineau and co.
Yeah.
And the Chicago team in the 80s, the Monsters of the Midway.
Oh, it's good. It's very good.
Come on.
It's very good.
What are we called, guys? The Purple People Eaters.
Purple People Eaters. It's just a killer. The thing that
they were so good though. Fucking hell, they were.
Yeah, incredible. They had, what was their meet at the quarterback? Was their motto?
Meet really at the quarterback. Good. Yeah, I love that.
It's really good. The thing that's worth saying to any beginners getting into the sport is obviously it's a very, very attacking job that they are doing. It's weird, isn't it? Obviously, because you're the defense and you see, you're the defensive front, but actually your job is pure. You're a pure attacking person. It's quite a slight misnomer. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
Yeah. You're going forward all the time.
Your job is just to attack and get to that quarterback and bring them down. And get to the
hole
back.
and shut that down straight away and smash the running back. Or yeah. You let other people really stuff. If you're a defensive lineman, you rarely see what's going on behind you. You're always everything's forward, right? You're trying to get around the end. You're trying to stuff the middle. You're trying to get the quarterback. It's all about pressure. It's all about going forward. I was reading about this, talking about the draft and things.
Yeah.
And I'm because they don't use money in the NFL. You don't buy players from other teams. It's all built with a draft and stuff. So I was looking at the origins of the Purple People Eaters. So Minnesota Vikings first came into the NFL in 1961. They picked up Jim Marshall from the Cleveland Browns during a number of early September trades. They moved 6 Cleveland players to the Vikings for 2 1962 draft picks. In 1964, Carl Eller was drafted in the first round, and in the next season they acquired Gary Larsen from the LA Rams. Then in 67, the Vikings drafted Alan Page in the first round. So there it is in microcosm.
Yeah.
That the NFL greatness is built on the draft and on trades and on.
Yeah.
And you're bringing these players from other teams and how are they going to be a good fit for you?
And then crucially keeping them together for a sustained amount of time. Jim Marshall didn't miss a game. I don't think he missed a training session.
He didn't. Yeah, it's a mad stat in 16 years.
Yeah, in his 16-year career, I think it might have been.
Didn't miss a training session. Didn't miss a game. It's unbelievable.
In 19 years.
19. There we go.
And it's not like he's.
You come into the league at 21, 22 years of age. So from the age of 21 to 40, he didn't miss a game or a practice.
In one of the most physical.
Insane.
One of the most physical positions in all of sport.
In a team that went deep in the playoffs virtually every year as well. It's a mad statistic.
He came across incredibly. There's a really good documentary again with NFL Films of the missing rings where it looks at the 69 team that almost won, and he comes across as the leader of the 4 really and the team captain, and kind of the heart of the Purple People Eaters.
Who's the fellow that used to come in? Oh, God. Almost like a super sub. What was his name? I can't remember his name.
Bench warmer Bob, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Bench warmer, yeah. I got to find out what that is. Hang on a second.
Who's the kind of 5th Beatle sort of thing. But he never came in for Jim Marshall much, I don't think. It's just
Bench warmer Bob. And that's why the name stuck with me. I see it now. That's what pinged out when I watched the doc with him in it. Bob Lurtzimer.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking of Nat Lurtzimer.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
He was a comic, of course, quite an unusual name. But even he loved his role. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it must be so hard. Imagine coming in, imagine being drafted Imagine being drafted as a defensive lineman and going to the Vikings in 1974 when they got the best defensive forward in football.
Best. Yeah.
You know, what am I going to do? I'll be honest with you, mate. You're going to spend a lot of time sitting down.
In the cold. Oh, do we have heaters? No. I'll tell you later.
Sign that. We'll tell you after.
But again, and we found it with the Bills previously, another great team where the lasting stigma is that they couldn't get over the line, and in 4 Super Bowls, and
they had they had what's his name, Tarkenton, didn't they?
Yeah,
quarterback.
But
Fran the Scram, I love that. Yeah, he was always like super elusive.
Yeah, Joe Cap to begin with. Joe 69.
Cap is the mean guard in is it Stir Crazy or Mean Machine? I think it's in Mean Machine.
Is he?
Yeah.
He came across very well. He's an interesting guy.
Maybe we should do the longest yard one day as a special.
Yeah, great.
Because there's some football players in that. Ray Nitschke's in it. Joe Cap's in it.
Great. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, like the footage, it's definitely worth, like if you Google it on YouTube, you'll find it, listeners. It's like, there's just 45 minutes of just no commentary, just footage of the Purple Peter.
Well, I thought you were joking.
No, I know. It's amazing.
And I was, you know, I started watching it and it was good. It was big hits, and I thought this is good. What an intro!
And then it just keeps
going.
After
35 minutes, I thought this is probably not the intro. I'm getting a feeling this is the thing. There's not a word spoken in 45
Not a word
minutes.
spoken, but holy moly, the way they were able to hit the quarterback then, and the level of contact. It's a different game. Yeah.
I've got a little shout out as well. If you're watching some stuff, you'll see if you're watching these, especially if you go to the Bud Grant rabbit hole, link to the Purple People Eaters. You'll see Steve Sable, who I used to love. Steve Sable. He did all the NFL films.
Yeah.
Took over from his old man. But he started as a cameraman like in 1969 with Bud Grant, you know, covering Bud Grant. And Steve passed away. I was thinking, this is how time flies, mate. I was thinking Steve Sable passed away like 3 or 4 years ago. He passed away like 13 years ago, Steve Sable.
Oh, wow. There you go.
But I love those NFL films. Like,
yeah.
When I was a kid growing up pre-internet, it was all, I couldn't wait to get. I used to postal order NFL films, Crunch Time and the Football Follies and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, Steve Sable. But
and it's worth saying Jim Marshall only passed away quite recently as well. It was June.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's amazing how many of those players, when you think how brutal the game was, sort of lived to good ages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they were getting battered on a weekly basis.
Well, yeah.
And even things like even the equipment, mate, like the improvement in things like helmet technology and shoulder pads.
Like you look at the helmets that these guys are wearing, and they've got these fucking like bolts on their helmet directly between their eyes.
Well, they didn't used to wear like the sort of standard cage, the Vikings. I think the Chiefs were also the same manufacturer. Like the face cage is sort of
like just fucking drilled. Right,
yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah, it looks. They look brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
And as a Green Bay Packers fan, I should hate the Vikings, and I don't.
I don't hate the Vikings,
and I should hate the Bears, and I don't.
No,
you know.
Yeah,
I should hate Detroit, and I've got no opinion about Detroit really, which is worse.
That is worse. Yeah, that's worse.
No, but I like the Vikings.
It should be said.
I would never admit that.
They've still never won a Super Bowl. So
no,
they are one of those franchises that when it does happen, it will be.
And they've been around for
big deal for them.
63-4 years.
Yeah, and had incredible teams. Final little detail that I picked up that I really liked was again the Alan Page documentary is definitely really inspiring.
Oh, you got to watch that.
He was born in Canton, Ohio.
Impressive bloke. Yes, class.
And so when he was growing up, he had a part-time job helping build the NFL.
How good is this?
Hall of Fame.
How good is this?
And he was a casual labourer building the NFL Hall of Fame. And then obviously, fast forward 40 years, 50 years, and he's inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame that he helped to build. Oh, Brilliant.
Can you imagine it?
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, going for a piss and think I built that bog.
Like I said, he was quoting Tennyson's Ulysses. I don't think it was.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
And also one more thing, I built that bog. Class.
Top man.
So that was the Minnesota Vikings. We've got a load more franchises to get through. So if we haven't done yours yet, then let us know with your suggestions of an aspect that we could cover.
Yeah. Coaches, players, plays, stadiums, kit.
Yeah, great.
So drafts, Super Bowl seasons.
Oh, it's all
so many things, Tom.
Great. Well, get in touch. Leave us a speak pipe. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, email, YouTube, all the like. Like and subscribe. Yeah. And tell your mates as well. And
ask us any questions you like. And if you could tell Tom and I how the onside kick works, that'd be fantastic.
If anyone knows.
Right. I'm going to kneel down and kill the clock and let the time run out, Tom.
Beautiful. Victory formation. See you next week.